Hello and welcome back to our channel. If you're new, welcome. Today we are talking about a fanfiction called Family Friction. Details about this fanfiction will be in the description below. In this fic we're mainly following Jason and Tim, it being mainly from Tim's point of view. The first scene that we start on in is a family meeting, right, in the Batcave. They're just debriefing and going over things, and Tim is like anxious, right? He planned this out perfectly, so no one would ever question it. Perfect alibi and everything, because he's in just regular clothes down in the Batcave, because he's not allowed to patrol. Which, again, he planned. He planned to shave off just enough time, of like, okay, he only slept this amount of hours, so now Alfred banned him from patrol, just enough that he'll still be awake and alert, but not enough where it's like, he's allowed to go on patrol. So he has an alibi, right? Because if he'd be suspicious, he's like, oh, I can't do it that day. so he's just waiting to leave. He's antsy. He's like, everything's planned out. Everything's working according like a plan. I just need to leave, right? Because he is meeting his boyfriend's sister, as in Danny, right? And he's, faced off plenty of villains and gotten out of plenty of like impossible situations. I mean, plenty of times, world almost ended. Like, but this is really what gets him, because Danny looks up to his sister like a lot and really cares for her, and he wants to not embarrass himself or Danny. And so he's like ready to go, but obviously trying not to be like suspicious. And they're debriefing, and this is where the Jason's like, oh, he's like, oh, like I have some people I gotta contact, got some information that Black Mask might be getting a new shipment in. It's like, things like he has to do completely separate from the rest of everyone else, right? And they're like, okay, we'll call us if you need backups. Like, sure, right? And Tim notes Jason's dressed a little bit more down, right? It's like not completely, he's like, it's not anything abnormal like that's happened before, but he notes it, especially just in the way of like how he kind of acts. He's like, something's a little bit off about him, but he kind of like, pushes it aside. It's like, no, focus. I gotta, it's like, I got a date to get to. I gotta focus on that. And then we cut to literally outside of the house. And they're both there. Tim's already mad. He's getting out of the car. He's like, are you stalking me? Are you serious? Jason's also like, and he knows because, like, Jason's annoyed and he's, like, surprised by this because if he was, you know, he probably wouldn't. But Jason's, like, equally surprised and annoyed. He's like, me? Well, you? Like, what are you doing here? Like, shouldn't you be resting? Because, like, what are you doing? It's like, because he also got his rib hurt, which wasn't part of the plan. Like, he got kicked in, so that wasn't part of the plan, but it still worked out. He's like, it's fine. Like, I got stabbed in the spleen, and I had to drag the weight of like a full-grown woman through the desert. Like, it's fine. I can handle this. It's like, what about you? It's like, weren't you supposed to be beating someone, like an informant? It's like, I did that yesterday. It's fine. And so it's like, this is where they finally go. He's like, I'm meeting my sisters or my sisters. I'm meeting my girlfriend's brother. Instantly it clicks at him. It's like, no. And he's like, what? It's like, I'm meeting, because it's like, coincidence. Like, I'm meeting my boyfriend's sister. He's like, no. Like, it instantly clicks as soon as he says that. He's like, no, no, don't tell me. Like, it instantly, and Jason catches on immediately after Tim. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh. And it doesn't even say, like, it doesn't even, like, get to sink in for a minute because, like, at that moment, Jazz opens the door and she's like, oh, Jason, you're here. Like, it's so good to see you. Sees Tim and she's like, you're supposed to be. It's like, oh, like, because he's real shy immediately because, again, this is his boyfriend's sister. So, he shyly introduces himself and they still, like, they don't say anything. And in the beginning, like, they don't say at first that they're brothers because she knows, like, oh, do you two, like, oh, you two know each other. It's like, yeah. something like that. They don't like immediately kind of come out with it. Like they're not hiding it, but it's like they don't immediately come out with like, yeah, we're brothers. Not that it really matters anyway, because I mean they don't even have to say it. They act like siblings, right? Because as soon as like he sees Jason being all kind of soft with Jazz, immediately goes into like, I'm gonna hold this over you for the rest of your life. He's like teasing mode, right? And it's the same with Jason when he sees Dan, who is so much taller than because supposed to say but his growth spurt finally hit just like it did Tim. So he's like way taller than Jason. And, you know, Tim's already like, I'm gonna hold this over him, right? And so this is where like, okay, you two are definitely like, you know, Jazz comments like, how you two look similar. It's like you two siblings, like and Jason makes a point to like adopted. It's like, you know, it's like you're still stuck with me. So it's like it's very clear, really didn't have to say anything. Like you two speak for yourself, like, okay, yeah, you're definitely siblings. It doesn't really matter if you're adopted or not. But Tim's immediately like his first thought is like, I'm going to hold this over his head for like months after this. But once I settle down for dinner, everything's like going pleasantly. Like, you know, Tim's like kind of surprised at how pleasant everything is kind of going. And they start talking about like, because they were talking about Tim and how he came out to his parents. And so shifted to Danny and how they weren't surprised, nor did they really even care. Like, weren't surprised, didn't even care in the first place anyway. All that, um, all that Maddie commented on was like, please have better choices than your father. So it's like, make better choices in parts, you know, just better than your father. It's like, what? So like that was the only thing they commented on, and talk about past crushes and I guess flings, technically, kinda. So crushes and flings, where both of them for some reason liked Paulina. Only one of them got farther though, right? Because it was Danny was like teasing Jazz about because they're teasing each other. Everyone's teasing each other, right? Because they're teasing Jazz about Paulina. And I was like, oh, what? I remember catching you behind the bleachers making out with her before. And that's when it brought up, it's like, because Tim's remembering, it's like, didn't you say you had a crush on like Paulina? It's like, oh yeah. It's like, why would you bring up something you don't even remember? And it's like, this is where Tim decides to drag Jason into it. It's like, well, if it makes you feel any better, Jason dated our oldest brother, ex-boyfriend Roy. Hello. Immediately. He's like, I mean, hey, he dated him longer than Dick did, which is like, what is happening? And they're like, and he proceeds to go on and like to tease him just more. He's like, oh, and it's like clearly like we thought he had a thing for redheads. Like, oh, clearly you did. Like, because it was because like clearly because Jazz is like I would say the newest one. Is that, well, yeah, technically she's a redhead. And then this kind of goes into because Jason obviously bites back where he's like, well, we all thought you were in the blonde, but seeing as you're dating Danny. And this is where Danny's like, well, technically. And so now we get this, he starts telling a story of how they met. And Tim's like, don't do this to me. Like, and looks at Jazz Rob, she's like, I already heard your story. I can't help you, right? And so Danny, Tucker, and Sam had went to Comic-Con and they decided to go as heroes, but as opposite gender, right? And like full on, like not gender bent, just like the opposite gender, right? So, Sam was who was she again? Red Robin, right? She was Red Robin. Tucker was one of the Green Lantern girls, and he was Black Canary. So full on fishnets, everything, blonde wig. So that's what Tim saw. And so, and like when they first met, like, too, like it was everything, right? And then for Tim and his friends, like they went as Marvel heroes. Bart went as Quicksilver, Cassie went as Spider-Gwen, Khan as Cyclops, and then Tim went as Iron Man. Of course, it fits him. But they were immediately like, because Tim clearly saw from across the room, and so they were immediately pushing him towards to get him to talk to Danny. But Jason's not even surprised. And he's like, oh, he went as Iron. It's like, of course you did. I'm not even really shocked by it. After telling their story, this is where Danny decides, like, okay, he should at least know how you two met, right? Because he's heard this, right? They've heard the story for each other. But Tim doesn't know how Jason and Jazz met. And how they met is basically she had judo flipped him. Tim's immediately shocked because it's like he's like twice your weight. What are you talking about, right? It's like, oh, he was like, I thought he was a creep and it was just instinct, and so I just did it. It's like, and imagine my surprise when it was Red Hood. It's like, I mean, she's like, I felt horrible afterwards. Like, you should stop doing that, by the way. It's really creepy. It's like, pretty sure it's the signature that they do, but okay. And this is where Tim is like, because it comes out of nowhere, where she just, casually says it. It's like, oh, like, imagine my surprise was Red Hood. It's like, It's like, of course I know. It's like, Danny knows too. It's like, they both know, that they're vigilantes. It's like, how did you know? It's like, well, every time you like say like, oh, was it a third date after you say like, oh, family emergency, bad excuse. But also technically wasn't a lie because Damien had been injured and then Dick was unavailable. So technically, not a complete lie, just not in the way you would think. But the entire time, like Tim had felt bad because he just kind of seemingly ditched for no reason. At least he thought from like Danny's perspective. But to know that Danny was like pretty patient, understanding this entire time, really puts it in perspective. Like he just didn't like, yeah, okay, sure. It's why he never fought Tim on it or really anything. And Danny just coming out like again, casually just saying, yeah, I mean, like it's not a big deal. Like I used to skip social events or school like all the time, and it's like for what? Like because Tim and Jason are like, what are you talking about? It's like, didn't I tell you? It's like used to be hero. It's like what? Like, she's like, okay, Mara needs some fight. Like, just the casual drop of like just not under like you didn't say this. Wasn't information known before. What are you talking about? So this is when Jazz decides like, all right, this is a different conversation. Let's at least get some fudge before we have this conversation. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!